to drop this. It's a bit comfortable, bro. Some of that back.
Alrighty, guys. What day did we land and whereabouts did we land?
Nearly been here a week, eh? Like, was it
Yeah.
Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday.
It was Wednesday, yeah.
Wednesday morning we arrived in Cairns,
Yeah. It was like, I was like,
About 9 o'clock, 9:30, we arrived in
oh
Cairns.
yeah, and then the rental car thing, eh?
And then it just slowly, everything just went down for that day. Like, we had plans, but things happen, so, you know.
Well, that's the whole part. Adapt and adjust, boys. Adapt and adjust. So reset and then back into it the next day.
Just straight off the bat, was there, because you boys are from Brisbane, quite a distinctive weather change?
Yeah, especially for Tyler.
Yeah, humidity was strong, man. Like, I like the heat, but yeah, it was uncomfortable heat, and I admit that. You know, it was like humid and uncomfortable, and it was the start of their winter. So I don't know what that is. It's like, yeah, the weather was pretty extreme.
Did you boys go have a look out Cairns night that same night you touched down?
Yeah, we rocked out, all three of us, and then then especially like when you went around, just asking people questions, what mental health was. It was an interesting observation from them all, like different answers, but everyone, it was funny, like everybody, sort of a few people looked us up and down kind of stuff, like, but a lot of people were all uncomfortable. I think that's the one thing that you catch. It didn't matter who you spoke to, everyone was all uncomfortable, even if they did say something positive, like they at the same time they didn't really say something positive, because like it was kind of like the way I was seeing it within my observation is their characteristics of who they want to be. So they're kind of like, you know, they want to be respectful towards you, but the questions are uncomfortable. I mean, that's nothing I knew. If you did that in Brisbane, it doesn't matter where you go do that.
So what did you think? What did you think the factors influencing that were?
Well, the thing is, perceptions bring it into reality now. Like, the one thing about reality is that like COVID's put everyone in the same boat. So it doesn't make a difference whatever you think you're entitled to. COVID don't care. And like, but what happens is like behaviour's it's there for everyone to observe. You know, we're watching the kind of crazy part, how everyone's behaving in the environment for different kinds of responses within what they believe they're entitled to. You know, like some people walk into a store and go, "Oh, you can't make me wear a mask. I don't want to wear a mask," and essentially everyone else that is wearing a mask, there's a behavioural response. A lot of people don't sort of understand that it's like a simultaneous response, and it's an unconscious response where essentially from everyone else that's sort of put in that moment, it's like you kind of believe you're better than them. So people measure this unconscious response of like, well, I don't want to wear a mask either, but I'm wearing a mask, and kind of like our policy makers within our politics, you know, like it's inconsistent. Like they tell you, so we got an outbreak in that today, so at 5 p.m. today is going to be, we're going to lock everyone down, so you got to 5 p.m. and like we're saying this at 7, 8 a.m. and you're like thinking like, but it's a virus, it doesn't make any sense. So does the virus stop moving within the community? It doesn't. So like at the end of the day, within our humanity, it's like people are confused because they're like, well, is that how it works? You know, because like people don't put their research into their knowledge to understand. People also don't understand that stupidity is a choice. So essentially, it's like I don't want to think for myself, so I'll let somebody turn around and tell me what to do, and then I'll respond within if I want to do it or not. And that's a behavioural response of our entitlement.
Yeah, cool. So I know the boys come down for a purpose to Cairns, and then furthermore touchdown in Townsville. Can you tell me what that looked like?
Well, like, you know, the thing is that when we rocked in, the whole point was to like, pitching to you guys and the team, and we were in a discussion, everything about it, is that like, understanding what we're doing is it's like, a phone call's hard with mental health, like, you know, as I was saying to you boys, it's like, it's easy for us to ring up or send an email or anything like that, and I'll spark some awareness in regards to what we're doing with our framework and its point of relevance. People get interested in, you know, technically what they want to take from it. But in reality, best effective way is being in the same time and space, because like when then they can feel it, you know. And that's another discussion that we started talking about of like the effects of like wearing a mask and not being able to see facial expressions and body language, of how that taps into like that influences our perception, where people create whatever they want to choose to believe within a response.
So Richie, are you happy to be here?
Happy to be here. Yeah, I'm happy to be here, but wearing this thing, I don't like it. It's just like you can't read people's expressions. It's like
you only get half of the conversation.
Yeah, it's like you're hiding something. You can't. Yeah, it's so easy to be untruthful. So
Right.
Yeah.
What about you, Tony? Are you happy to be here?
Don't I look happy?
So, Richie, what was your overall perception of Cairns?
I think Cairns, like I enjoyed it. It was definitely different, but overall I felt there was a disconnection with the people who live there, from the Indigenous community to the everyday people that were just like just driving around, shopping, walking around. You could really see the disconnect between them and the Indigenous community. Especially, I first noticed it on our first Uber ride into town. You know, it's the first. Oh, I have felt that before, but it was the first encounter feeling that uneasiness by the driver when he turned around and looked at us to see where we were from. Like he was trying to suss us out if we were the Indigenous people, you know, like from this country. And I could really feel it that he was minding his P's and Q's, and then when he knew that we weren't Aboriginal, he was a bit more laxed, and he didn't really care, you know. He felt.
And I know he's probably had a terrible trip on the bus on the way there, just to uncomfortability. But did you find that Townsville and that same conversation was much different?
Yeah, Townsville. I think because it's bigger, and so everything's more spread out, and so it doesn't mean that the problem is any smaller. It's just because you don't see it. So what you don't see doesn't mean it's not there. So it could be hiding, you know, it could be hiding somewhere else, or like they just move the problems around. Yeah, I can't speak for people from Townsville itself, but that's just my perception of what I've taken in so far.
Oh, what's up, boys? Oh, what's happening?
Hey, Tyler.
Oh, Tyler. So what was your perception of Townsville? Oh, I had a really good time in Townsville.
I bet you did, bro.
Caught up with a couple of the locals here, got a good vibe for the thing. Just going off from that last bit that Richie said, he brought up maybe some stereotypes and disconnection with some of the communities here, and I did feel it. This morning we went and handed out, well, I made about 50 sandwiches, the boys whipped up some hot dogs and stuff like that, and we went to a place, and we found that there was a lot of these members of the community there, and
Dean Park, was it?
Dean Park. And I engaged in a conversation to make everyone feel comfortable, and then once we got down to baseline, I had some really good conversations with some of those people, and got some really good conversations out of them about their pain points, where they feel like us to go. There was a couple elders there as well, which was really good. Got a couple really good content and like genuine interactions out of it, and it felt good to be a part of that process. And there was a service there that we all seen there. The service there,
Pretty good,
the service was really good, and I felt it to be very purposeful.
What was it called?
It's like a drop-in.
Townsville drop-in centre. Yeah.
Which I thought the sound of it was something else. You know? I think because of the look of the outside of the place, it looked really like crap, which is, I suppose, a misconception, because once we got inside, we could really see that it did have a lot of things that were
totally.
for the
It was
community.
pretty real.
I'll see his boys in a bit.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, sweet. No, but yeah, definitely. It's like That's what I mean. It's like about owning your perception, Like within awareness, you may think one thing. You're entitled to that belief, but at the end of the day, it's whether you choose to hold on to it or not. You know, attach it to your belief, and like at the end of the day, when we went in and spoke to the ladies and stuff like that, and they were cool as, and we could feel their pain in regards to like trying to be purposeful, but at the end of the day, like it's a systematic team effort in regards to what they're doing, but the whole structure in regards to what they're doing, like from the sense, I was telling you boys this, it's like a catch-22, where like at the end of the day, to do with the people that are going in there, at the same time they feel entitled to what they're going in there, because that's their belief system, and at the same time within the response to the people doing the help, they're trying to do the best job in that kind of response. It's not they're saying they're better than you, it's like they're trying to be effective, but within the other person's perception, it's like they think that they're better than him, you know what I mean? But it's a repetitive behaviour belief from within.
Yeah, cool. And I know you boys have one more day left in Townsville. How do you see yourselves exiting there? Is there anything that you want to leave behind?
I think it's like pretty cool. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like, to me, the one thing that you see is a sense of community is it's being a smaller city and that, it's pretty tight, but it's similar to that same perception of what we see, like what we see in Cairns. I think was way more disconnected in regards to like Cairns, like what Richie was pointing out earlier. It's kind of on edge, but then like you only come a few hours up the road to Townsville, and then you see it's a little bit more on ease here, but then there's similarities to what you see in Cairns. And like we were talking about, we came this way because like the only way to sort of understand the pain point or the problem or everybody's going on about, because you get this perception of awareness of what the media want to tell you to what you read in the paper. That's perspective taking, because at the end of the day, like you're supposed to believe what you observe, not what someone else tells you to observe.
Very good, guys. I hope you just have a good trip back to Brisbane.
Yo.
Cheers.